Oh, no wonder. It's so bright outside. Looks like we had a storm last night, lost power. Alarm clock just didn't keep up with the time. It's nearly 9:30 in the morning. Just getting up. See the clock there on the microwave. It's not right. I'm just waiting for the coffee to finish up and grab a thermos. And we've got some soybeans to sell because we need to put some more soybeans in the ground. The circle of life of soybeans, right? About the time you get around to selling them, you got to plant more back in the ground. All right, let's get out of here. We got stuff to do today. But before that, this video is brought to you by Alfredo Farms. Thank you for being a farm baron. So yesterday I went ahead and set up our brant auger and already prepped the tractor. You know what? Maybe it's a pretty darn good thing. I had no idea that it was going to storm last night and take out the power. Jeez. So we had 78,000 liters of soybeans. That's going to be 2.5 trips, basically 3 trips. And I was checking the prices online earlier, and the best price is just like it was last year. The mill, it's just outside of town, so it's going to take a little while to get out there. But that's all fine and dandy. I was doing a little math, and I think we're going to be able to actually buy our seeder today. Called down the shop, wanted to see if they had the seeder in stock, and well, there was one county over. They're having it brought over, so we should be able to pick that up around midday. Sounds good to me. But for us to be able to do that, well, we're gonna need pretty good top dollar on these soybeans. I hope they test out pretty good at the mill before any dockages or anything. So guys, how are you all closing out the FS19 life cycle? I have to say, I think overall, a lot of people are have shelved it. I think a lot of people have put it up, moved on to something else for now, and we'll come back in November when 22 releases. I mean, I'm seeing big drop-offs on view counts. I mean, big drop-offs on live stream attendance in general. I mean, trying not to take it personally, right? But yeah, it's just like we hit a cliff and boom. Maybe about 2 months ago, it's just cliff. So yeah, it's a little frustrating. A little frustrating as we're going to be continuing to push on, but you know what? That's what we do. We've been slowly growing the channel for, well, at this point, 3.5 years, nearly 4 years. And we've had very, very steady growth, almost linear growth. It's so uncanny. You look at the channel's growth over 4 years, and the dang thing is nearly a straight diagonal line. There's been a couple bursts of channel growth, but yeah, overall it's been a nearly a linear horizontal line, which is crazy. to think that we've just had that steady of growth, which is good. Is good for sure. But yeah, how are you all closing out your FS19 existence? Have you given it up? If you're watching this video, you probably haven't given it up, have you? So it's kind of a self-fulfilling question. I'm asking people that are watching the video. You're probably watching the video because you haven't given it up. So all the comments are going to be, no, I haven't given it up yet. Right? But, yeah. Overall, I think there's a fair number of people that have pretty much given it up. $33,700 for the first load. Hopefully we get that for load number 2. And then we'll have a partial load, just over a half load for load number 3. So that'll get us right around $100,000. And that's about what we're going to need in order to buy the seeder that we're going to get. I'm going to show you what seeder we're going to get when we get back up to the farm and get this other load in the trailer. So I'm looking at getting the Horsch Pronto 9 DC. I mean, it's been in the game forever, and it's a pretty nice seeder. It's 9 meter working with. I wish it was a little bit bigger. I would get the Limpkin, but the Limpkin doesn't no-till. I'd have to work the soil before I could use the Limpkin. But it's 12 meters. I mean, that's a really nice seeder. $107,000. The Horsch 9 meters, $104,000. It does subsoil, not subsoil, but no-till, so I don't have to worry about working the soil between crops. Then we start getting into the big boys, real expensive stuff. And we've been getting this one here a fair bit. 8 meters, $182,000. I mean, gosh, that thing's expensive, right? Looked at this one. This one's only 6 meters. By the time you buy both of those, it's $78,000, right? This one's 12 meters, $138,000. It does direct seed, but yeah, we're not going to be able to afford that one. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to afford this Pronto 9 DC when it's all said and done. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, along the lines of what I was saying earlier, just a few moments ago, for you, around Farm Sim 19, yeah, we've got the Fellsburn Revisited. We're gonna try to keep pumping those videos out until release of 22. We've got this, that if all goes well, Friday before FS22 releases will be late winter of our 4th year, 3-day seasons. We're nearly halfway through our 3rd year. Complete success. Complete success. We haven't had any issues. We've been able to double crop. We've been able to get 5 harvests without being rained out, for example. Now, of course, we may completely lose the soybeans that I didn't put in the ground yesterday because I didn't put them in the ground yesterday. Today's the last day of planting for soybeans, so yeah, we may lose them. So I may be talking a little premature there, but so far, so good, right? But yeah, I mean, there's other stuff coming out. Super stoked about some other stuff that's coming out. I mean, I can't stop talking about Forza Fridays once Forza Horizon 5 comes out. I mean, that looks like that's going to be an absolute blast. I plan on doing, like I said, Forza Friday live streams where we just get in and hopefully can join up with some other folks from the Discord that hopefully have it and just have fun and and hang around and, well, basically just have a blast on Fridays in Forza. Um, the end of October, the end of this month, we're gonna have 2 games come out. One I haven't ordered yet, and honestly, I want it, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time. It's one of those things where I want it, but I don't have time to do it. So do I just buy it, but then never get around to playing it, right? I think more I'm going to take the stance of, well, I don't have time to play it now, but maybe one day I will have some time opening up. And when that happens, then I'll maybe be able to pick it up. And if I pick it up, maybe I'll be able to pick it up for cheaper because it's not a brand new release, right? So that is Age of Empires 4. And the reason I'm so stoked about Age of Empires 4 is that is really what that type of gameplay is what I cut my teeth on when I was learning computer gaming, if you will. I remember playing, I don't know if it was Age of Empires or Age of Empires 2. I don't remember which one it was. But trust me, it was a long time ago in a land far, far away. And I played the original Command and Conquer, original Red Alert. Those are kind of generally the same sort of type games. There was a game called Dune, right, based around the book series Dune. That was kind of a base builder gathering thing. I played some of the original Warcraft. No, not World of Warcraft. The original Warcraft, which was like orcs and humans, but you gathered resources. You built a base, and you made an army. You went and attacked the other player. There was StarCraft. There was, I mean, that was a big hot genre there for a while, and I was into it. I was into it single player. Back in my day when I was a boy. Oh my gosh. Anyway, back in my day when I was a boy, internet gameplay was fledgling because the internet was fledgling. There really weren't a whole lot of games that were designed for true internet play. What we had back in my day, we had to walk uphill both ways because you know what? My driveway had a dip in it. So literally every time I went to school and came home from school, I had to go uphill both ways because there was a dip. It was also downhill both ways, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, back then there was land gameplay where you could basically play with someone else that was on the same local. LAN stands for local area network. For all of you little boys and girls that don't know that. And what that basically means is everyone that is, to super dumb it down, everyone that's connected to the same switch. Okay, so your home router, right, has wired and wireless ports. Okay, so everything that's connected to your home router, either wired or wireless, is on its own local area network. So what LAN play would be, let's say you have multiple computers on your LAN and you all have the same game. You could start a LAN game, a LAN network game, and you could all connect to it and play either against each other or, with each other as a team, against AI, whatever. Well, that's kind of where the whole concept of a LAN party came from, because that's the only way you could play together was just to haul your computer over to your friend's house or kind of arrange an area where maybe a bunch of people in a gaming club met someday and, hooked up to a wired network at that point, because wireless either didn't exist yet or was super fledglingly slow. And here, let me cut this off. And that's how you play. Now, I remember there was this application, and maybe some of you old farts that are my age would remember this too. There was an application that I remember. I paid for it. You know, back then you're in college, you didn't pay for anything you couldn't get around to not paying for. But we won't talk about those dark times. I paid for this. It was like, I don't know, 20 bucks or whatever. I think it was called Cali or something like that. And basically what it did was it somehow, through the miracle of technology, it extended the ability to LAN play across the internet. And I remember using this application to internet play with other people across the internet, Command and Conquer. Because the original Command and Conquer was just LAN play when it first came out. Now, I know someone's going to argue that when you could play off the internet when it was out, and okay, that's fine, and it was updated later to do that. Okay, I'm talking about the version of the game that played in DOS. DOS, you know, that comes before Windows XP. All right. Do you remember that time? A time before Windows XP? Well, I do. That's what we're talking about right here. So anyway, this Kali program extended that out to the interwebs so that you could LAN play with people that weren't on your LAN. It was amazing. Now, we did it in the campus computer lab before they knew how to lock down computers, so we couldn't install stuff. But yeah, that was kind of where I started with gameplay. So Age of Empires 4 kind of has that nostalgia to it. And yeah, I was really excited because a couple weeks ago they had an open beta test where they were basically load testing the multiplayer servers, and anyone and everyone could basically install a test build of the multiplayer parts of the game, and that's what they wanted you to do. Just play as much as you can, do as many online sessions as you can, because they wanted to load test their multiplayer infrastructure and just make sure it was, you know, ready for prime time when the game launched on October 28th, I think. I still suck at multiplayer in that game because I don't play heavy, that type of game. And when you play multiplayer on that type of a game, you really have to almost have what I call a cookbook of, this is what I do, a kind of a run list. You know, I start the session, I immediately do this, I do that, I buy these, you know, I train up these workers, I set these workers to do this, I build the buildings in this particular order. All you're doing is you're running a playbook, and then it basically comes down to who has the most efficient playbook in order to build up the resources that you need to do to take out your opponent. That's not really playing a game to me. That's running a playbook and hoping that your playbook is better than the other guy's playbook. So I really like the single player campaign on those, and that's what I would be mostly doing on that game, is the single player. But then it's hard to deny that my second love in gaming is racing titles. That's what kind of got me back into computer gaming, was building out a rig to do iRacing many years ago, after a many year ago break from computer gaming. So same day, October 28th, NASCAR Ignition 21 releases, and my good buddy Darren was nice enough to gift that over to me. Thank you so much, Darren. But yeah, now I'm looking forward to that too now. I'm looking forward to running a career on that and maybe doing some multiplayer on that and seeing how all that goes. So, boom, there you go. 2 games I want to play come out the same day. And then right after that, November 9th, I think, like a week and a half later, Forza Horizon 5 comes out. Oh my gosh. And then 3 weeks after that, Farm Sim 22. See ya. If I was somebody that didn't feel strong about commitments, where I hadn't already pre-committed to do this Felsburn Revisited series, and I hadn't somewhat pre-committed to play this Griffin, Indiana, through until the release of FS22, man, I would be real tempting to drop FS22 or 19 myself and play the heck out of those other titles for a month and a half. But yeah, I'm a person that keeps their word as long as they have the ability to keep their word. And what that means is we're gonna continue on this series. So we are up to 115, almost $116,000, which is really good. That means we do have enough money to buy our seeder. Excellente. Go ahead and get that thing. Pretty sure this tractor has required horsepower to do that. I still have a fair bit of soybean seed from last year in the building, in the barn there, that we're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and get this trailer backed in under the shed, and I'll meet you back later this afternoon once we've picked up our seeder and are putting seed in the ground. So I've talked about the games that I'm interested in, excited about coming up. Let's hear down in the comments what's coming up that interests you all. Be interesting to hear if we have any sort of interests that share other than Farm Sim, and of course maybe, just maybe, we have maybe some common gaming backgrounds also. But yeah, so it's after 12. Rain started right at noon. It is now 2 o'clock. The forecast has it raining pretty much for the rest of the day. So maybe if we were into realistic gameplay, we wouldn't bother with seeding at this point. We'd have to maybe contend or basically say, yeah, you got the best of us. We can't double crop because it's raining. But no, we're just going to forge on through, ignore the fact that it's raining. The fact that we can seed in the rain, nothing prevents us from doing it. We're just going to go ahead and do it. I had more soybean seed than I remembered. I had an entire pallet and maybe about a quarter of another pallet. So I was actually able to fill the horse up completely with 3,000 liters of seed. Had a couple of bags left, but we have now subsequently filled those bags in here. So all the seed I have for soybeans is in the seeder at this point. I have seeded the top field. So field number 1 is seeded with soybeans. At this point, all we gotta do is put seed here on field 8, our new favorite field with the pond down there, and then the field just below the farm. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that done for the rest of the day, and well, I'll see you all on Friday as we are into late summer at that point and figure out what kind of trouble we can get into. The weather forecast so far for tomorrow is rain in the morning, rain in the evening, pretty decent skies throughout the day, but no good drying weather. But that's okay because, well, we're not going to need to harvest anything, and I doubt we're going to be mowing any grass tomorrow. So we'll just have to figure out what kind of trouble we can get into tomorrow. Big shout out to all of our farm hands, farm bosses, and farm barons for joining the channel. I've mentioned this time and time again, but if you're interested in further supporting the channel above watching the channel, then maybe consider clicking that join button down in the description below, or above the description, I should say. And you might just find yourself having your name here on the scrolling credits. And if you've got a farm baron membership, well, then you just might get a video shout out. Until next time, happy farming.